If 2020 was a fight, it would be Floyd Money Mayweather against Logan the Maverick What the are you doing Paul. And that's supposedly what is exactly happening right now. So it just dropped. My mind is blown. It just proved 2020 is 2020 once this fight was announced. So it came out. It's official. Supposedly it's official. Haven't gotten a guarantee from Floyd Mayweather or Logan Paul himself, but supposedly the bout is signed. It's official. And a boxing insider on the Fighting News YouTube page actually confirmed this. He said the bout is signed. It's official. He even said he's seen a picture of the contract signed by Floyd Mayweather himself, and just further proves that this fight, amongst all the speculation in the past like 24 hours or so, it's apparently real. And it will be supposedly on YouTube. Before I dig into this fight at all, comment what your reaction was. Do you love this fight? Do you respect it kinda? Do you you don't blame either guy for taking it, for doing it, for arranging it? Or you're like, what the is happening? This makes no sense. This is the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. Oh my god, my life is ruined, but I'll probably still watch it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on the post notifications for multiple videos every week. All MMA, all unfiltered, all unbiased, all from the fan's perspective. Now let's get to it. So earlier there was speculation that he was going to get into a combat fight, I guess you could call it, against Grayson Dolan, who him and his brother, twin brother, were actually recently on the Impulsive podcast and were discussing a possible wrestling match. And he said that there is no way that Logan would beat him in a wrestling match because he has a wrestling background himself. Logan Paul does have a wrestling background as well, and he says otherwise. So there was speculation that it was going to be this big wrestling match, if that's a thing apparently. WWE, maybe John Cena can come in and hit Logan Paul with a steel chair.
Steel chair! What's it? Oh! What a shot! Oh! Good God Almighty! Jesus Christ!
So yeah, there is speculation that it was actually going to be Grayson Dolson who is going to fight Logan Paul in the boxing ring instead. And funny enough, when that podcast was over, those twins hopped on Twitter, were talking bear shit, calling Logan Paul a bitch, saying he doesn't want to fight him, saying he's scared to wrestle him, saying he's scared to lose in front of everyone once again. But apparently, Logan Paul came out recently and he said,
I want to put on a good show too. Just like, have you guys maybe consider for 1 second that there might be something more important on my horizon than wrestling a Dolan twin?
And his best friend Mike on the podcast says, once the internet finds out about what's really going on, the internet is going to explode, your computer's going to melt, your brains are going to be fried, it's going to be chaotic. So the first thing I thought about once this fight was announced, after I caught my breath from hysterically laughing, was the size difference between these two guys. Logan Paul is 6'2", and his last fight was at cruiserweight against KSI, where he weighed in the cruiserweight limit 199.4 pounds. And funny enough, on Logan's most recent podcast, he even looks like he's been thinning out a little bit, which is ironic because even a few episodes before that, he was talking about how he lost all his abs. He's been so out of shape. He hasn't been working out. He's a lazy asshole, and he let quarantine get the best of him. And on the other hand, Floyd Mayweather, the heaviest he fought at in a boxing ring was at 154 pounds, and he is 5'8". So first and foremost, there's no way I'm breaking down this fight. You guys are crazy if you think I'm gonna break down this fight. I would rather fucking take a nap than break down this fight because there is zero point in doing that. Floyd Mayweather, if you guys have not heard of him, if you're living under the rock for the past 20, 30 years, he is 50-0 in a boxing ring. He's gone punched clean probably a handful of times throughout his entire career and has won 15 major world titles in 5 different weight divisions. And is by far the best defensive boxer the boxing world has ever seen, and arguably even the GOAT of the sport. Logan Paul, on the other hand, could only land a clean punch against KSI when he had one knee on the ground and cracked him in the back of the head, which lost him 2 points, which ultimately lost him the fight. And you're putting him against the GOAT of boxing. Logan Paul couldn't even beat KSI, and KSI, after a couple of years of intense boxing training, couldn't even throw a normal punch. He throws like he doesn't know what he's doing, like it's the first time he's hitting a heavy bag. And Logan Paul is just like, oh my God, what is happening? Oh my God. And you're putting him against Floyd Mayweather, who can't be hit at all? And Logan Paul can't even jab KSI in the face. What is happening? And something I did think about is, does Floyd still have tax problems? Is that an actual thing? Because Conor McGregor was ripping Floyd apart for apparently having problems with the tax man, saying that when Floyd was flashing his fat paycheck that he hasn't even cashed in against someone who he recently fought, he said that that's actually to the IRS, which is hilarious because we all know Floyd's spending habits. This guy almost makes it his life mission to be broke after making $1 billion throughout his career. Then again, this is also a walk in the park for Floyd. So first and foremost, there is no doubt this fight is going to be huge. Hate it or love it, it's going to be one of the biggest fights of all time when it comes to boxing, when it comes to views. Because if you don't know Logan Paul, he has 22.4 million subscribers on YouTube with over 5.6 billion, that's with a B, views on his channel. And Floyd, on the other hand, has 23.7 million followers on Instagram. Half decent. So to be completely honest, at the end of the day, I don't really blame either guy. Floyd is going to get another 9-figure payday, and Logan Paul is going to get the Conor McGregor red panty night. How could you be mad about that? If I'm Logan Paul, I'm salivating out of my mouth to take this fight, to get paid several millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to fight an exhibition fight against a 43-year-old retired boxer. Even if he's the GOAT, he's not known for knockout power. It's not Mike Tyson you're fighting. It's not where you're legit scared of getting your skull crushed. It's Floyd Mayweather. You're gonna dance around a bit. If you're like that kid he recently fought and take a dive, no big deal. You'll still get a nice fat paycheck. To Floyd Mayweather, this fight is the equivalent of him successfully pouring a bowl of cereal, but the only difference is he gets a 9-figure paycheck afterwards. So guys, comment who you think is going to win this fight and when Floyd Mayweather is going to bend Logan Paul over the ropes like one of his multiple girlfriends. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, turn on the post notifications for multiple videos every week. All MMA, all unfiltered, all unbiased, all from the fans' perspective. And if you missed any of the previous episodes, click right here to watch my Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa head kick KO prediction, or click right here to watch my breakdown of Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal 2 for the BMF belt, and click right here to subscribe.